Hey, how's it going? I'm Josh from 91 Tech, and today we're going to be taking a look at which iPhone you should buy in the summer of 2018. If you've been around the channel for a while, you might know how this works. We're going to go through each tier of iPhone from the $1,000 ones to the $50 ones and discuss whether or not each are worth buying. And at the end of the video, I'll give you guys my personal recommendation on what I think will be the best value iPhone you can get right now. So without further ado, let's just jump into this. First off, we have the iPhone 10, naturally. It's $1,000. It's a great phone, but it's extremely expensive at $1,000. I would not recommend the iPhone 10 right now due to a new iPhone coming in just September. I have the iPhone 10, I love the iPhone 10. It's a great phone, but it's $1,000, and considering you can put that money towards a new iPhone come a few months from now, I would say it's probably better just to wait. Next, we have the iPhone 8 and 8 Plus. Both are great phones, the 8 starting at $700 unlocked for 64 gigs, and the Plus starting at $800 unlocked. These are actually fairly decent prices, and if you get them on contract, I'm sure you could probably get a good deal. And I would recommend both of these phones, especially considering that they really aren't getting properly replaced in September with everything moving to the iPhone 10 design. While they will probably get a price reduction of around $100 to $150, I would say right now these are still worth it. The iPhone 7 and 7 Plus start at $550 for the smaller one or $670 for the Plus one, and both models are 32 gigs unlocked. Still great phones in 2018, but not the best of value. Now, before I get into that, if you want something more durable than glass, then aluminum is for you, and the 7 is of course made of aluminum. However, overall, I would just recommend spending a little bit more for the iPhone 8, especially considering you get double the storage, because the starting iPhone 8 is 64 gigs and the starting iPhone 7 is 32 gigs. However, if you do find a good deal used for the iPhone 7, it might be worth it. And don't get me wrong, these are perfectly good phones right now. You don't need to upgrade if you have one. I just think the 8 and 8 Plus are better value. Then we have the iPhone 6s and 6s Plus. The 6s will cost you $450 or $550 depending on which size you get. Both are great phones considering they're 3 years old, but they are still 3 years old, and so you should only buy them if you're getting them for free on contract, or you can find them for around $200 used. These are great budget phones and will perfectly work right now in 2018. Then we have the iPhone SE. Now, this phone I've been recommending for a very long time, and I still do. Apple charges $350 for it, but on contract you can almost always find a better deal, and I can usually find it for well under $200 on eBay as well. This is a great phone. It's basically an iPhone 6s, but smaller. And to add to this phone, there was no SE2 released at WWDC, and the chances of the SE being replaced anytime soon aren't high. There might be a new model in September, that is possible, but it is also very, very unlikely, so I would not put any stocks in that, and I would say that the SE is still worth buying right now. And those are the phones you can buy new on Apple's website. All pretty good, but some are definitely better value options than others. Before I go more into that, I'm going to quickly look at some more used iPhones you'll find on eBay. The iPhone 6 and 6 Plus. These phones are infamous. They sold really well, and they also bent really well. And in my opinion, in 2018, they are not worth it. Yes, you can find them for well under $200, but the 6S and 6S Plus are a huge jump up when it comes to speed and camera, and so I think they're worth the extra money. Plus, they're better build quality. They don't bend. If you have an iPhone 6 or 6 Plus right now, you'll probably be fine for at least another year, but I wouldn't actually go and buy one right now. The iPhone 5S, believe it or not, is totally worth it in 2018. That sounds so weird to say, but things have changed. And why have they changed? Well, because it's receiving the iOS 12 update. Adding to that, you can find it for under $100 on eBay. That's insane. Not only is this phone going to be supported until the end of 2019 at least, it's also going to cost you a tenth of the price of the iPhone 10. It's really, really hard to argue against the iPhone 5S as a budget option, and so I'd say for most, this is really, really the phone to go for if you're tight on funds. Then we have the iPhone 5 and 5C, phones I've been recommending for a while, but starting now, I'm going to stop. While the iPhone 5 and 5C both come in at great price points at around $40 to $60 on Craigslist or eBay, and while they run fairly well on iOS 10, the 5S is just a better deal considering it is getting iOS 12, and it's not much more money. And so that's essentially the entire Apple iPhone lineup in 2018. Anything older is completely unusable, and so I think that's a good place to stop. So what do I recommend you do? Well, if you're buying new, I think the iPhone 8 or 8 Plus is your best choice. However, with the new iPhone coming in September, you might want to wait, especially considering there's supposedly going to be a budget model that looks like the iPhone 10. If you're not into the whole iPhone 10 thing, as in no home button, then the iPhone 8 or 8 Plus are good options. And while they might get a price reduction in September, I'd still say they're worth it right now. If you're looking to buy an iPhone used, I think that the iPhone SE and 6S are both the best options, especially considering considering how cheap they are. Which one you get really depends on which size you prefer. There aren't much more differences. And if you're really on a budget, then the iPhone 5S is an amazingly good value option. Seriously, the thing is so cheap, and yet it can do basically everything. And with that, I don't have much more to say. What you get really depends on your price bracket. While the 6S and the SE still reign probably as my most recommended phones for now, the iPhone 5S and the iPhone 8 are both close seconds. I hope I helped out a little bit, and if I did, maybe hit that like button and consider subscribing for more content just like this. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram, direct links down below. And if you want to help me out, you can always bookmark the Amazon referral link in the description so that I get a small commission of any purchase you make on Amazon. It's free, it's easy, and it would really help. So thank you everybody for everything. I'm Josh from 91 Tech, and I will see you all next time.